Chapter 4: Presentation, Analysis, and Interpretation of Data. This chapter focuses on presenting the data, analyzing of data, and interpreting the data. The data used in this chapter is gathered from respondents with experience in early pregnancy. The researchers provided questionnaires that is related to our topic. This qualitative case study examined how teenage pregnancy affects students' academic and social life. The 14 teenagers have experienced how difficult it is to be a young mother at such a young age. The 4 respondents gave this study plenty of time to respond to our interview questions. The in-depth interview with each respondent lasted approximately 1 hour, and below that covered the essential information needed to determine how teenage pregnancy impacts a student's academic and social life. Table 1. What keeps teenage pregnancy happening? Theme: immaturity. Category: wrong decision. Statement: my early pregnancy. Category: impulsive. Statement: it is the result of my actions, and what happened to me was in my liking. There are mistakes that teenagers do that lead them to be engaged in early pregnancy. The actions done by the respondents resulted in their teenage pregnancy. There comes their young and curious mind that they are not thinking thoroughly about their own decisions and actions that they make. Their mistakes eventually result in their suffering. In this study, the immaturity of teenagers keeps early pregnancy going and continuing. Immaturity leads to unnecessary decisions and actions blended from the reality of the world, and also produces the mindset of not considering the consequences of every little or big action made. In other words, young ones are prone to do what will harm them, to make wrong decisions, and to be impulsive because they're still immature. Young ones don't understand how hard life is. That's why some of them are not afraid to do wrong things.
Table 2. Reason and factors behind teenage pregnancy. Theme: family. Category: family support. Statement: they supported and helped me in my situation. My mother also accepted the fact that I was pregnant, and she actually supported me. Theme: ignorance. Category: arrogance. A statement: I don't care about them. They don't have contribution on my child's birth. Theme: readiness. Category: acceptance. Statement: I showed them that what they thought about me is wrong. Mentioning the family doesn't mean it makes them the bad guys. It's just that their support and love for other teenagers are being abused to the point that they do what they shouldn't do because they know they'll be accepted by their family. A child's ignorance of other people's advice and the lesson about why they should not participate in early pregnancy is the reason why they can't decide what is right and what is wrong on their own. In addition, they thought they understand the world and life, but actually, they are making themselves a fool.
Table 3. Why early pregnancy need to be stopped. Theme: academic. Category: academic performance. Statement: it affected my study and my dream of graduating. Responsibility and experience: it is very difficult to take care of a baby because I have no experience. Acceptance: be responsible for what you have done because you also wanted it. I accept it because it already happened. Consequences. Results: I was nervous and scared. They were angry. Early pregnancy affects the education of its victim. Once a student bear a child, she would not be able to perform well in school. The pregnant student also needs to be careful because her body is weak. After all, her body is still small and not mature enough to carry a child. Early pregnancy also brings such a large responsibility that must be fulfilled because that's for the child. Action and decision must be done by thoroughly considering the possible outcomes and effect they, they may do.
Chapter 5. Summary of findings, recommendations, and conclusions.
Chapter 5. This chapter presents a summary of the results and findings from the data that answered the problem in Chapter 1. Where conclusion of the findings from the data can be found and of course recommendation that we researchers suggest. Summary of findings. The findings and results from the data provided by the respondent of this study were carefully analyzed by the researchers. The findings show why teenage pregnancy happens, and immaturity is a reason why this happens based on the respondent responses. They are immature after all. They are still growing, and that there are a lot more things ahead of them that they don't know. Their immaturity made them the wrong decision, being pregnant at an early age. On the other hand, their impulsiveness also adds to why they are in their situation now. We found out that young ones nowadays are too complacent to make mistakes because they know that their family would still support them despite the bad things they have done. They learn to abuse their parents' love and support for them and just decide what to do without considering what is right and what is wrong. They become careless with their decision and action. They don't think about right and wrong anymore. Their ignorance of what is right and wrong leads them to their early pregnancy. They don't think rationally anymore and just go with the flow of society. They think they can do anything, even parenting, but actually not, because in real life is hard. They just made it harder by engaging in early pregnancy. Responsibility is an obvious account that takes place in the parenting. Education becomes less inferiority to them. The child comes first, also they can be their past selves, and they don't have the freedom to enjoy their teenage life because they already stepped in adulthood. Thinking wise helps to stop teenage pregnancy. Think of the consequence if you get pregnant at an early age. First, your health and your body is not ready for bearing the child. Next is your study. You can focus on your study anymore due to your pregnancy. And last, the responsibility. You are young and you are still not capable of taking on those big roles.
Conclusion. In conclusion, this qualitative research, the information on how teenage pregnancy impact on a student academic and social life. This could be a call of attention of the public so that could realize how negatively this issue affects everyone's life, especially teenagers. According to the study done by researchers, and according to the response from the respondents, getting pregnant earliest age is hard. Difficult mistake they make. This become a big challenge to encounter, especially due to the lack of knowledge about the pregnancy and they not prepared for it. There are things that cannot be done anymore because the teenage pregnancy is studying the big impact on this education of the student who become a victim of teenage pregnancy. Responsibility comes too. Once engaged in early pregnancy, the young mother is responsible for her child in many aspects. Providing the child needs, taking care of the child, planning the child's future, guiding the child's growth, and many more responsibilities that come with the teenager pregnancy. These responsibilities are new to those young mothers and is such heavy responsibility to all the young mothers. In addition, in these responsibilities, you are obligated to do it until your child has a family of their own. To avoid getting early pregnancy, a teenager must be have open mind to avoid this kind of issues, to be able to think of what right to do and wrong. to be able to think the consequence or result to their decision and action. Think carefully about the decision before you decide so that you will avoid early pregnancy. And now the teenage pregnancy is a mistake of a teenage because of immaturity. And it comes with a big responsibility that's hard to deal with. They are experiencing the hardship of a parents now just to provide for the needs of their children. And they will understand how bad their mistakes are.
Recommendations: strict parental guidance. Parents should watch their children carefully and always remind them to do the right things so that they can avoid teenage pregnancy. All young people should be able to discuss this issue with their parents so that they can take immediate action. Proper handling of the relationship with your partner. If possible, young people should first avoid having a relationship because they will only be tempted, and they should pay more attention to their studies. Don't rush with anything sexual with your partner. School programs that acknowledge issues like teenage pregnancy. Programs like Symposium that spread awareness to students is a great help to share awareness about teenage pregnancy. Teaching the student about sex education will make the student aware of sexual relationships and course about pregnancy. The pregnancy prevention programs for all students can help to reduce sexual activity and reduce early pregnancy for all teenagers. Community awareness campaign for all teenagers. The goal of this community awareness campaign is to inform all teenagers that early pregnancy is not a solution for all the problems of teenagers. It's just another problem that you will face. This campaign shares a lot of ideas about the importance and how to prevent teenage pregnancy. And also, this campaign can help all you to understand and realize how it is difficult to have a big responsibility if you get pregnant early at such a young age.